Cardiovascular health improves when you expose the heart, blood vessels, lungs, skeletal muscle, and autonomic nervous system to repeatable aerobic demand at a dose you can actually recover from. Your heart does not get healthier because you occasionally suffer through random hard workouts. It adapts because stroke volume, vascular function, mitochondrial density, and recovery capacity are trained consistently. So instead of chasing exhaustion, use 6 exercises that let you build output control, intensity, and stay compliant long. The first is brisk walking, and most people underestimate it because it does not feel dramatic. But brisk walking is one of the cleanest ways to improve aerobic efficiency, lower resting blood pressure over time, improve insulin handling, and train parasympathetic recovery without beating up your joints. If you are deconditioned, overweight, sleep-deprived, highly stressed, or coming back from inconsistency, walking is not the beginner option in a dismissive sense. It is the highest return re-entry tool. You want a pace where you can still speak in short sentences, but you are clearly working. Your arms swing, your ribcage moves, your stride stays smooth, and your breathing deepens without becoming frantic. If your life is sedentary, the second is cycling. Especially for people who need lower joint impact while still getting a meaningful cardiovascular load. Cycling lets you accumulate volume without the repeated landing forces of running, which matters if your knees, ankles, or body weight make impact a limiting factor. The heart benefits because you can sustain steady work for long periods, and your leg muscles become better at extracting oxygen and clearing metabolic byproducts. If you tend to go too hard too soon, cycling also teaches pacing because the moment you overshoot, cadence drops, tension rises, and breathing gets sloppy. Use it when you need a stable, measurable, low-impact option that you can progress through duration cade. The third is swimming, which changes the breathing mechanics enough to create a useful cardiovascular and respiratory training effect. Water supports the body, reduces joint stress, and forces you to coordinate breath timing with movement, which is valuable for people who are inefficient breathers under stress. The hydrostatic pressure of the water also changes venous return and can make the session feel very different from land-based work. If your body runs hot, your joints are irritated, or you carry a lot of tension through the spine, and hips swimming can give you a strong heart-lung stimulus with less orthopedic cost. The mistake is trying to swim hard before your technique allows it. If form collapses, the session becomes a struggle drill. The fourth is rowing, which is one of the most complete tools for cardiovascular health because it combines leg drive, trunk stability, upper body contribution, and strong rhythmic breathing. When done well, rowing loads a lot of muscle mass at once, which raises oxygen demand efficiently and trains coordination between force production and respiration. But it only works if technique stays clean. You drive with the legs first, then open the hips, then finish with the arms. If you yank early with the upper body, you turn a powerful full body pattern into a low back and forearm problem. Rowing is excellent when you want strong cardiovascular demand in a short session, but it punishes sloppy yemics. The fifth is stair climbing or incline walking. This is where cardiovascular training becomes extremely efficient. The incline raises demand, quickly recruits more posterior chain, increases heart rate without requiring sprint mechanics, and exposes weakness fast. If flat walking is no longer enough, but running still feels too aggressive, incline work is the bridge. It gives you a higher cardiorespiratory load with a lower eccentric cost than running downhill or doing random plyometrics. If you use stairs, keep posture tall, let the foot fully plant, and do not collapse onto the rail unless balance truly requires it. The goal is not survival. The goal is repeatable mechanical quality under rising demand. The sixth is interval running, or if running is not appropriate for your joints, interval work on a bike or rower. This is the highest risk, highest return tool of the 6, and it is where most people become irrational. Done properly, intervals improve. VO2, max cardiac output tolerance to higher workloads and confidence under stress. Done badly, they just accumulate fatigue, disturb sleep, and convince you that harder is always better. You use intervals after the base is in place, not before. If your resting heart rate is trending up, your legs feel flat, and your sleep is fractured. Intervals are the wrong move that day, even if your calendar says otherwise. Now apply this like a coach. If your body is detrained or your schedule is chaotic, build around brisk walking, first ideally most days of the week, because frequency teaches the system more reliably than one heroic session. If your joints are the bottleneck, bias, cycling and swimming. If you are short on time, but technically competent, use rowing or incline walking for dense sessions. If you already have a decent base and recover, well, add interval running once or twice per week, not every day you feel motivated. A typical week might look like steady walking or cycling on 2 to 3 days, 1 or 2 slightly longer, easy sessions where you stay conversational, 1 more muscular aerobic session, like rowing or incline work, and 1 interval session if your recovery supports it. That is how you protect the heart without creating a recovery debt that leaks into the rest of your life. Here's where most people stop, but here's the advanced layer. You do not choose cardiovascular exercise only by calorie burn or convenience. You choose it by tissue tolerance, nervous system, state, sleep quality, and adherence profile. If your sleep is poor, high-intensity intervals may worsen the problem even if they look efficient on paper. If your stress is high and your appetite is erratic, too much, hard training can elevate strain while reducing consistency. Track simple markers, resting heart rate, how quickly your breathing settles after work, whether you can hold nasal breathing during easier sessions, your morning energy, and whether the next day's legs feel trained or just damaged. That is load management. The best cardiovascular plan is the one that improves function without forcing compensation elsewhere. To make this stick, anchor the exercises to your week instead of your mood. Put easy walking after meals or calls. Put cycling or rowing on days when time is tight, but you still need measurable work. Use swimming when joints or stress are high. Use intervals only when sleep motivation and recovery markers say go. Keep most sessions at an effort you can repeat. Let 1 or 2 sessions each week push harder. Pair all of this with basic nutrition, hydration, and sleep discipline, because cardiovascular health is not built in isolation. If you undereat, overcaffeinate, and sleep 5 hours, the exercise is no longer purely adaptive. It becomes another stress input. And test the system under real life. On travel weeks, default to walking and stairs. During busy phases, shorten the session rather than deleting it. During plateaus, do not immediately add intensity. First check whether frequency, recovery, and pacing are honest. The detail worth re-watching is this: the 6 exercises are not competing with each other. They solve different cardiovascular problems, and the right one depends less on what looks impressive and more on what your body can absorb, repeat, and benefit from next week to week.